One Focus Radio.
Welcome to the show, it's Dyer's Daily. Keeping in the know, it's Dyer's Daily. We've got chat, we've got discussion, nice and slow, ain't no rushing, reading emails and events. Sometimes he makes no sense. It's time to start the show, it's Dyer's Daily. He'll be there in a mo, it's Dyer's Daily. We've got plays, we've got interviews, even stuff that's in the news. Local and otherwise, come and try it on for size, it's Dyer's Daily.
Hello and welcome to the Dyer's Daily podcast for Friday the 23rd of November 2018. In today's podcast I will be discussing the role of advertisement and Christmas, of course, and the relationship they have with each other. Have you seen the new John Lewis, the new Sainsbury's ad, or maybe whoever you shop at, have you seen their ads? We'll be talking about that in just a moment after this promotion for another podcast out there.
When it comes to women's healthcare, too often we face limited options and doctors who just don't get it.
I feel at times that I know more than some of the providers I see.
Lady Parts is a new podcast that takes a wide view on women's health. We'll talk about the latest drugs on the market.
Something that is very low risk, but which isn't treating the disease, is just trying to reduce symptoms.
And alternative ways of understanding our bodies.
Women have more yin energy and men have more yang energy. And so that's why it's more common, like for men, to have strokes, have heart attacks. Women are more prone to stuff like fibromyalgia and autoimmune and stuff that's more deficiency related.
We'll also talk policy, where the healthcare system supports us and where it lets us down hard. Nothing is too gross.
I don't want to describe this because some people who like to eat liver might not eat liver after, but I can recall like clumps of blood clots just coming out of me.
And we'll have some fun, too. So that means women can have more sex.
You're not going to deplete your essence.
Listen to Lady Parts with me, Andrea Maraskin, coming October 21st, wherever you get your podcasts.
Dyer's Daily.
Now I know that it's late November and really the C word should not be coming out about now, but I, as usual, am struggling to get away from it because there's always the thing that happens around this time of year. For some reason, I can never, before my birthday on December the 6th, get away from the C word, Christmas, because from early November now, people are starting to think about it and starting to think about their presents and stuff. It's like Halloween is over and November the 5th is over and Thanksgiving is just an American thing. So in Britain, we are all going absolutely mad over this stuff, and it always amazes me how we seem to get earlier and earlier every year to the point where no other holiday exists. But, dear listener, the reason that I wanted to talk about the C word in this particular episode of Dyer's Daily is because in the last couple of weeks we've seen a sudden influx of Christmas-related adverts, because we are reaching into December and it is pretty certain that you're going to see Christmas adverts around. But why I always struggle every year to really understand why they even bother to make an effort at Christmas anymore in terms of adverts. It's just become one of those things. It's like the Christmas #1 or something like that. It's sort of something that used to be held in such high regard for the adverts about 4 or 5 years ago, and now it's just like blah. Last year's was better, or the year before's was better, or the first one that started it all off was better. Now, we've always sort of had Christmas-related ads, but it really, in the last decade, has kind of taken a whole new thing. John Lewis being the front runner, in my opinion. Of course, also Marks and Spencer occasionally getting involved in the act, as do supermarkets like Sainsbury's and such. Now, my favourite one this year is actually the Sainsbury's ad, and it's not because of any message or any kind of thing that they've put in there, because, it's Christmassy and it's nice. If you've seen it, you will know, if you've seen it, the reason why I and many other people out there think it's the best advert at Christmas in years. Because of two words: plug kid. Yes, there is a kid who dresses up as a plug and runs across the stage and basically jumps into the plug socket, which makes all the lights come on. That guy is a hero. That guy made all the lights come on. They're making you think, we're supposed to be feeling for the mum and the daughter and everything. No, the plug kid, that is the thing that we are taking from it. That kid is going to spend his whole life being known as the plug kid. If he goes on to do anything other than than sort of normal everyday life, if he goes on to do sort of media stuff, he's going to forever be the plug kid, which it's not a bad position to be in, really. At least you're famous for something. 15 minutes. But I don't know. I sometimes struggle with why the obsession is with all these ads and stuff at Christmas time. Is it because we're just wanting something to make us feel all warm and snuggly? Why don't we go and watch It's a Wonderful Life for the billionth time, or Santa Claus the movie, or put on some Christmas carols or something else? Why do we need an advert to come on the TV to make us feel Christmassy? I've often seen people say that the Coca-Cola ad, which they kind of reshuffle every year, but you can tell that it's exactly the same as it has been for the last 20 years. I swear they've not made a new ad in about 25 years. I swear that it's always the same. They say it about that every year. Oh, it makes me feel all Christmassy. It makes me feel all nice. And it's like, what? An advert advertising a product? Is anybody... Or are many people going to go out and buy Coca-Cola because they saw the ad? Does it actually do them any good? It does from a brand point of view, I suppose, because if you remember an ad, you do tend to remember what the ad was for. But does that... I would love to know if this is a thing, whether these Christmas ads actually add up to any extra... business for them. It must do in some way, but then at Christmas time it's always busy anyway, so I don't really know. I mean, I heard a story that John Lewis have done this Elton John ad, and basically what has happened is it's all about Elton John getting a piano when he was a kid, but John Lewis don't sell pianos, so it's all a little bit, here's my favourite word, problematic to me, because of that. They're stocking that product just because of the ad. So I don't know how true that is. It probably is, because you know what social media is like. It could be, it couldn't be. I always feel sorry for the John Lewis guy, actually, the guy who jumped onto Twitter before John Lewis or whatever happened and got the name John Lewis. His name is John Lewis, and every day he gets bombarded with tweets, especially at Christmas, about the new John Lewis ad. 1 year, I'm calling it now, 1 year that guy is going to be in a John Lewis ad. He's going to be a Christmas dude, because practically he makes the news every year, because you'd think that being on social media, being bombarded by John Lewis customers because your name is John Lewis, would be quite boring, but he seems to have made a living out of it. He seems to have be quite light-hearted about it. And it's kind of, it reminds me of a case a few years ago, on a slightly deviated note here. It reminds me of when they did the Who Killed Lucy Beale thing on EastEnders, where when it found out it was Bobby, sorry American people, but you are like 10 years behind us, I believe. When you found out it was Bobby, there was actually somebody on Twitter with the name Bobby Beale. So she suddenly got all these tweets from people saying, you killed Lucy, you killed Lucy. And it freaked her out, something chronic. I mean, she really really felt uncomfortable, and suddenly all her friends on Twitter were jumping to her age. It's like she had killed anybody. You know, to them, they hadn't seen EastEnders. It turned out that this Bobby was in the States and didn't know what anybody was talking about. But the John Lewis thing, he seems like such a nice man, because that is day in, day out. The Bobby Beale thing, that would have been for maybe a week, 2 weeks, and then died down. Whereas after so long, that would have died down. But with this other thing with John Lewis, that's all the time. So my hat goes off to him for being able to cope with it on a daily basis. But on the subject of ads, I don't know. I see why they're there. They're there to pay for everything. But Christmas ads, really? I mean, are we still in a position where we're still feeling kind of Christmassy because of an advert? I guess it's just become a tradition. And the thing I find with John Lewis is that they tend to all be the same. They've all got the same feeling about them. And I know that's probably a brand thing, but why is it every year we get practically the same advert with a slightly different variation? And it's the same with a lot of them. A lot of them seem to go along that line. What do you think, dear listener? Do let me know on Twitter at JamieDyer89, or on Facebook, of course, South Waves Audio. Let me know what you think about this, because if there are any Americans listening to this, they probably have no idea what I'm talking about, because they get bombarded with ads all year round with different themes and stuff. Oh well, but if you are out there, American cousins, and you are wanting to tell me about ads that are out there for Christmas and what they're like, then please do let us know. For everybody else, get in contact. Remember to rate, comment and subscribe to Dyer's Daily on your favourite podcast platform. Thank you very much for listening. I shall see you tomorrow. From me, Jamie Dyer, bye-bye for now. This has been a South Waves audio production.